Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm your host, Leafy Potato, and welcome to yet another NRTS 1v1 cast. This game played between Kuro and Mr. Kuro, if you are at all familiar with him, is the hidden final boss of NRTS, one of the best players ever. And you shall see what he does to Mr., the current highest ranked player, actually second highest ranked player because of the last tournament. Yeah, doesn't have the same ring to it though. Mr., the crowd favorite, one of the best, if not the best. Both players upgraded CC into Militia. Interesting to see. We have green versus orange here on Hidden Valley. Green, a little bit nicer access to the middle of the map, which usually ends up being quite important. But orange has decent fighting chances to get towards it, since green kind of has a dead zone in between their closest farms and the middle that orange can exploit. It's hard to get some static defense going if the opponent's trying to fight you, as either player, really. We see Mr. taking farms as he goes. Both players trying to get as many militia on the map as possible. Kuro with a little bit faster militia production. Meanwhile, Mr. trying to emphasize farms. Mr. will have enough militia to hold off Kuro here if he's fighting close to his own territory. Kuro begins taking farms again. Or maybe he's going for an early house. I can't quite remember what happened in this game. I believe I remember how it ends, though. Alright. Kuro's on one of Mr.'s farms. And Mr. looks to push him back. Kuro respects it. And Mr. will quickly have 8 militia at this front. Kuro as well, also taking the middle, again, one of the more important parts of the map. Mr. will clamp down on one of Kuro's militia and will get a free kill. Not the usual play you see from Kuro, perhaps taking a sip of his drink or something. Qualvin would know that feeling all too well. If you know, you know. Mr. gets the first house down. Pretty important. We'll be able to start pressuring Kuro with a little bit more militia. Meanwhile, Kuro goes for an air pad. Doesn't have the housing for it quite yet, but I suppose hedging that he'll be trading out some militia here. So if Mr. does the thing and he pokes with militia, suddenly Kuro gets the chopper out without having to make a house. I think it's in Mr.'s best interest to just not fight for now. Try to take your militia and hit Kuro's farms wherever you can. We see Mr. pushing his weight around a little bit. Again, Kuro wants to trade here, because if he trades, he can get his chopper without needing his house. Mr. trying to fight the army. He's getting an okay fight so far. Gets the first kill, takes one immediately after, gets 2 more. But yeah, as soon as that happens, Kuro queues up a chopper. And now Mr.'s going to have to worry about a chopper, and Kuro doesn't have to worry about making a house quite yet. In fact, Kuro might be able to just sell militia and get a second chopper up really quickly, and that'll be problematic. Meanwhile, Mr. has weakened his militia. So, despite looking like he took the bad end of things, and Kuro's going to lose another militia in Mr.'s base, not exactly what you want. I say he's going to lose a militia, might not. Doesn't, wow. Okay, Kuro loses the middle of the map, and Mr.'s about to get farm harassed to I don't even know where. Of course, Mr. has a lot more militia right now, and we see him upgrading farms, trying to put as much of his eco possible into unharassable stuff. I don't quite understand the logic behind just ceding this farm to Kuro, but I suppose you're going to lose it anyways at some point. Choosing instead to just make sure that all the rest of the militia are safe, as they are currently in a J against this rock here. Not exactly the smartest look. Kuro already has his first house out. Kuro is now housing for population. Meanwhile, he's taking as many farms as possible. This is good gameplay, I would say. I would not hate at this point, once you have 2 choppers out on the map. It's not a horrible idea if you are containing your opponent and they don't have much to do about it, just to get as many workers on the field as possible to make farms. Since you're going to basically own the map, you might as well actually own the map. And here we see Mr.'s got a lot of militia, and he's going to just push forward. Yeah, Kuro has relied very heavily so far on choppers, and so won't have that concrete of a defense at the command center just yet. Mr. pushes forward, will hit one of Kuro's farms. Continues to push around. We'll just take out the farms. Not a terrible plan. I think Kuro right now, though, he's lacking severely in defense. You might have just been able to get a kill. His one worker at the command center was working on a generator at the time. Not a terrible position. Mr. is well ahead in terms of housing, and Kuro's not in a position where he can really pump out any more choppers at the moment. So yeah, hitting Kuro back isn't a bad call. I would actually love right now to see, unironically, I'd love to see Mr. get a Jeep. You've already got the militia stockpiles. You can fight Kuro's militia with your militia -4. So just take the 4 militia that you can shove in a Jeep, shove them in a Jeep, have them start running around the map, and then you can keep those guys shooting at farms more often versus here. The militia shoot at farms and they go like 10 seconds without doing anything, except in this very specific instance where there's a whole lot of farms very close to each other. Okay, and so Kuro's position's been reduced. Mister's position has been reduced. Mister does have this thorn over near yellow, which is hilarious, but I suppose it is what it is. So he actually has two more farms that I was not aware of until that moment. Very awesome. Does still have a very substantial militia army. Kuro not having any sort of static defense at his base. Might struggle a bit here. Now, Mr. poking at this farm here will probably lose some militia to the chopper fire at least. Nah, pulls back. Kuro respects it. Mr. tries to shuffle around his full HP militia to the front, giving Kuro more time to build up stuff. Mr. hasn't made a single thing other than militia this game, so he is going to be very ahead in terms of housing while also having a decent enough army to punch Kuro with. If Kuro starts making more tier 1 units other than maybe choppers, though, he can start dealing with these militia very, very well. And we see Kuro's just going to start his own militia production, and that's not even a bad response necessarily. You just need to have something to deal with the militia that's already on the field. So we see a barracks coming up from Mr. And I don't know about this one. I think your position's fine as Mr. here. Making infantry is basically an I'm going to kill you with militia, no matter how expensive the militia are. Versus if you make choppers, you can just fight the enemy's choppers. You can fight them for map control. You can play a slightly longer game where you just get every farm. Versus if you're making militia soldier, you're sort of putting yourself on a timer. Militia and soldiers get owned by basically the same stuff. And so if your opponent's trying to respond to overwhelming amounts of militia and you're making soldiers in addition, they just make the same stuff and kill you. Now, we see Heavy Trooper from Mr. trying to make a political statement rather than play a 1v1, as he usually does. Except, in this case, he's not making the Heavy Trooper for morale. Maybe he is, but he doesn't have any other tier 1 units. And at this point in the game, the Heavy Trooper is almost just a worse recon. They do win a 1v1 against choppers, which is cool, but they're not going to help you all too terribly much in this situation, I don't think. Okay, shuffling pieces around. Mister's not taking any farms, though. Meanwhile, Kuro is, right? Mister's army is extremely slow, and so Kuro can just move stuff. And we see Mister, he's got the militia spire formed up. He's got some units rallying in from his base. He's trying to form up some sort of battle line. It seems like he wants to try to go for a kill now, but Kuro's already got a couple turrets at his base, and the turrets hurt really bad. Kuro as well, having some militia himself, is still producing some. And yeah, if we try to go for anything too fancy, you're just going to end up losing a lot of militia for not much gain. As you see Mr. push forward here, he gets a farm, will get a house as well. Probably gets the generator, got the generator, but he's fighting in range of the turret still, and at this point, yeah, I really don't know. Kuro's protecting his militia very well, and so Kuro's now just got more militia and some choppers, and he's upgrading a vehicle depot. And so, yeah, whatever advantage Mister just had is pretty much gone at this point. Maybe a testament to how necessary artillery is to win games. You can, sort of, break through those kinds of positions if you have something other than militia helping you thin out the enemy's militia numbers, right? Because otherwise you pretty much trade 1 for 1 unless you have an insane advantage. And then if they just pull their militia hordes back behind their static defenses in their buildings, right, you're having to chew at the buildings, you're getting shot at the whole time. If you're not concentrating your fire, then you're not getting anywhere, you're not dealing with any of the turrets, and all the while, their militia are getting volleys on you, destroying your numbers. And at some point, they just have more than you. Going for militia soldier now is Mr., or so it seems. Yeah, doesn't have the money to make militia trooper. Mr. still has decent eco here, despite everything. But the reliance on barracks units, I think, is going to be a big problem, especially because this upgraded vehicle depot is about 30 seconds out, and then it's another 35 seconds for a heavy tank, so you got a minute from this position to get anything done. Right, you basically need to either kill or mutilate Kuro now, and you need to hit the depot if at all possible. But then to do that, you have to fight in the range of a couple turrets, and that's not gonna work. We see Mr.'s getting a tower in the back of his base. Got a heavy trooper at the front of the formation. Be curious to see if that's a vehicle depot out from Mr. We shall see in mere moments. Kuro going back out of the map. It's an air pad. Air pad, not a terrible response, but then all Kuro has to do is make an anti-air, and then you can't hit his upgraded vehicles. You can hit his farms just fine, and that's great. But at the 12-minute mark, and when the opponent's already got an upgraded vehicle depot on the field, if you've got no sort of static defense in front of your base, they can just make an artillery and roll up. Like, they can make one heavy tank, one artillery, one anti-air, and they're good. Right, now you've got a problem. So the heavy tank's out first, and yeah, Mr. doesn't have anything really to fight the tank. We've got a chopper on the field, and that's great, but Kuro's already got two, and Kuro is usually awake enough to keep his two choppers together to fight yours, if he decides he wants to fight yours. And so yeah, he'll just pull him back to the militia horde. Mr. won't be able to engage it. We have a regular vehicle depot out here, which will be producing Jeep. Very interesting. Jeep militia at this point in the game? Curious. Like a couple minutes ago, this would have been a pretty good idea before Mr. went and lost his whole militia horde. Now we have the chopper trying to get some shots on the heavy tank, but the heavy tank just it's like 6 militia every time it shoots. And soon enough, Mr.'s just not going to have anything to be able to fight the enemy. Now, the heavy tank has taken a lot of damage. Kuro's chopper's trying to shield it. Mr. taking a lot of chopper damage in return. Will lose one. So Kuro stalled for a little bit, but Mr. doesn't have any sort of healing or anything, so any damage he takes on his choppers will just stick. He's trying to fight Kuro's choppers, trying to hit the militia a little bit, taking so much damage in the process, and now Kuro's got an insane army advantage, he's got an insane tech advantage, he's got farms on the map. Now Mr. does have militia jeep roaming around, so it's not like he's got nothing to hit Kuro with, but at this point 4 militia don't shoot farms fast enough, and we have an artillery on the map that Mr.'s going to be hard-pressed to stop. Kuro just having the air advantage in a chopper war, that's pretty much all that matters. And at this point, make no mistake, we're playing a chopper war. Mr.'s trying to drop a second air pad right here, only to spend a wallet. He doesn't really have the eco to be producing out of both of these. I severely doubt he's got more than 192 at all. And we have an anti-air from Kuro as well, just sealing the deal. Any potential damage Mr. could have got done with these choppers, not really going to be relevant here. Said we're trying our best to make some static defense. It will be shelled. Worker's probably going to die. Worker does not yet die. We've got 7 choppers total here from Mr. As they're flying across the map, I really don't understand what the idea is here. Trying to hit the rallying anti-air, loses 2 choppers in the process. You go from 7 down to 5 again. Gonna try to hit the anti-air once more, but you're only doing it with 2 choppers at a time. And so this anti-air manages to nearly kill 3 choppers. Actually ridiculous. Or rather, to nearly kill 4. Yeah, Mrs. in a rough spot. Losing houses. He's getting shelled. He has nothing really to respond here. Making some amount of militia could help, but yeah, this is GG. 2 air pads with choppers in them get destroyed, and there's just not much you can do. You've only got a couple pieces of static defense, and only one of them's a tower, and your opponent can just dance around it with their artillery all day long and kill you. And for good measure, hospital dropping in front of the command center, so the artillery can kill it for free. Yeah. If you're wondering why Kuro is the secret final boss of NRTS, this is why. He is ruthless. You might see opportunities for you to get ahead in a game, and you might honestly be ahead of Kuro at some point, but do you know how to convert that? The answer is probably no, and Kuro most certainly knows how to gain an advantage and stick with it once he's got it. Mr. going for another futile push here. 3 turrets are just going to shred anything nearby. And the Jeep comes in for the shield after everything's dead. Yeah, what a game. At this point, resistance is just a sign of appreciation. It is the I respect you as an opponent enough to not let me win from here. And here we see the artillery continues to fire away. It'll be a little bit, but soon enough, Mr. will be gone. Kuro could make a couple medics if he really wanted to. He will begin making medics just to heal that much quicker. And yeah, you can destroy militia faster than Mr. can make them. We have a vehicle depot going down in the middle of the map now, but with a hospital in front of your base, there's really not much you can do. If you're making farms to try to shield from the artillery fire, the artillery can just miss and hit your command center anyways. So while it does buy you some time, it does not buy you much. And the choppers will just go and dive on the vehicle depot. Yeah. Not much success there. And suddenly, the real bombardment begins. The artillery will pull back and shoot at the farms for free. Mr. really doesn't have anything better to be doing. And it seems like his pocket just got eradicated. Worker is out on the map, trying to make something. We will be making another barracks. Last symbol of defiance in the face of overwhelming firepower. Kuro will just move around to kill it. As you do. Mr. desperately trying to get some unit producing structure up and running. It's just not going to be enough. And the artillery is just going to continue to shell away at the command center. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do in this position? You're just toast. The answer is you don't get into this position. And yeah. Welcome to the I died to Kuro rabbit hole. G to the G. At some point, this artillery is going to miss a shot, right? Right, at some point. At some point, we got to kill the heavy trooper first. Okay. We just need to dispel that blood, huh, mister? You would really bring something into this world just for it to be destroyed. There's no progress being made here. You can't out-DPS the hospital, and your command center's on its last sliver of life. A single miss here kills it. Kuro's just going to dive it with choppers at some point. Or he just misses. Yeah, there we are. 1859. Kuro picks up a W against Mr. Certainly the perfect example of what an average Kuro game looks like. You take one of the best players in NRTS and you just bring him to his knees in 19 minutes. Absolutely beautiful gameplay. Kuro, if you're watching this, come back, please. Nah, but like, you're probably in a better place anyways. If you watch to the end, thank you. I really do appreciate it. We do have the Discord link in the description if for whatever reason you're deranged enough to think that this is enjoyable content. And, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, stay classy.